Hey everybody, this is Dr. Scott Keller in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know where you're watching from today, but I hope in the next 3 to 5 minutes, probably 5 minutes, because I like to talk and educate, I just hope you guys get something from this talk, all right? I'm gonna talk about how persistence pays off, right? How to bounce back from setbacks in your life. So how many of you guys ever felt like you failed in life? You failed in work, you failed in relationships, you failed, right? Or how many of you have made mistakes that you feel like, man, I really regret doing that, making that decision, etc. I can raise my hand to both of those, right? Have you ever felt that those failures or those mistakes set you on a path that's just not healthy? Maybe that's anxiety, depression. Maybe it's just a vicious cycle of even more failures that start stacking on top of each other, right? So I'm just gonna tell you today, so much of that can be stopped in its tracks when you change your mindset about failure and mistakes, right? So we'll get to that in a second. So if you answered yes to any of those questions that I asked, just please know that you're not alone. I know I can raise my hand to every single one of those. And if you look to your left and look to your right, or if you're alone, think about people in your life, they're in the same boat as you, right? But we all manifest these things differently in our life and in our health. Right? So just make sure we work on our mindset. So let me talk about that for a second. So how do you gain your confidence back? How do you get out of the vicious cycle of mistakes and failures and anxiety and depression, all these things, right? The answer is 2 words: relentlessness and persistence. Relentlessness and persistence. You've got to have those 2 things in order to dig yourself out of this hole or to change your mindset. Now, the key to both of those words is discipline. You've all probably heard the saying, motivation will fade, discipline will persevere, right? If you haven't heard that, and I probably butchered that a little bit, but it's something like that. Motivation will fade. So think about this. If I want to eat healthy, if I want to exercise, New Year's resolution, people, right? We know statistically that motivation fades over time. But discipline is the act of doing things that you know are good for you, that you know are right, or that for whatever reason you are disciplined and persistent in pursuing those things in your life, right? That could be mindset and thought processes, right? It could be actions you're taking in life. It could be so many different things. So the key to discipline is staying consistent. So make these habits, these sustainable habit change goals in your life and start implementing them today. So I want to talk about failure a little bit more because the word failure, I honestly personally don't like. And Albert Einstein, does anybody know who that is? He's kind of a smart guy. I mean, I didn't know him, but he sounds like he was a smart guy. He came up with some pretty brilliant things. But Albert Einstein said, failure is success in progress. So think about that for a second. Let that simmer. Failure is success in progress. So how many of the most successful people in world history were failures, quote unquote? Were they really failures, or did they just learn and grow, change, and adapt to things that maybe didn't go their way? So that is one thing about your mindset that I challenge you to change today, or to think about today, right? So think about it this way too. All events in life are neutral. Good things, bad things. If you think about they're all neutral, it's all about how we perceive them and then act on them. Think about them. That really makes the difference. Think about that for a second. All events in life are neutral. So I want to leave you with some practical tips. Okay, all of this talk about motivation and discipline and relentlessness and perseverance, like what do I do? Start with a morning routine. If I would say there's one thing you can do, start with a morning routine. Okay, because we know the most successful people in life also have been shown to have a lot of common denominators, and one of those is a morning routine. Wake up a little earlier, give yourself at least 10 minutes, if not longer. Some people do an entire hour. Pick a few things from this list that I'm gonna read and start incorporating them. Journaling, movement, exercise, yoga, stretching, something. Gratitude, prayer, meditation, affirmation work, grounding. Go outside and go on a walk in the sunlight. Get that early morning sunlight in the grass or on the dirt with your bare feet. So many benefits of grounding. Visualization work, right? There's a lot of other things you can do, but I just wanted to give you a few quick tips and really encourage you to start working on that mindset so you can persevere through life, pick yourself back up. Dr. Scott, see ya.